Welcome to Social Science Part 2. First lesson History Freedom Movement. Freedom, India got freedom in the year 1947, August 15. Before that, British were ruling. In Part 1, you learnt that Britishers were ruling India over 200 years and then we got independence. How we got independence? See, you are going to learn the freedom movement. Many people involved and sacrificed their life to get freedom. So that you are going to learn how they struggled uh, against British. That you are going to learn. Now, after the failure of Great Revolt of 1857, the Indians decided to launch the freedom struggle in an organized manner. The Indian National Congress was established in 1885. Look at children, I'll go to the first point. After the failure of Great Revolt of 1857, the Indians decided to launch the freedom struggle in an organized manner. See, from Sirajudaulah till 1857, many rulers, many sepoys, many common people, many revolted people, anybody, they all fought, but not organized manner, individually, group wise, and using all traditional weapons. And we were not technically advanced at that time. We had our own way of the weapons and way of warfare, all that. After the first war of Indian independence in 1857, many changes and effective reforms were brought in. Lord Lytton brought in Domestic Papers Control Act in 1878 to exercise control over Indian publications. So Indians can publish anything in the paper, but not about British. That's the point there. So who brought this rule? Lord Lytton. Lord Ripon, another viceroy, brought in Ilbert Bill to bring in uniformity in the judicial system. That means what? In the judiciary, no, whether Indian or European citizens, they are all produced to the court and then they're all no, trialed and then given punishment. So that is uniformity he brought, that is a good thing only. To avoid armed struggle, the British adopted certain strategies. Now, here, one thing I want to tell children, to avoid armed struggle, the British brought the Viceroy, Lord Ripon. He introduced the Act. Arms Act means any Indian should not carry any weapons. It may be a dagger, or it may be a log, or it may be a pistol, or a whip, or whatever it is. No one should carry. That is a rule because they got afraid that these Indians anytime, individually or in group or whatever it is, they may rebel and attack. So Lord Ripon introduced this Arms Act, but this applies only to Indian citizens. Whereas those days European citizens over there, no, who settled in India, for them, no, this rule did not apply. So seeing this, no, Indians raged. The British government declared the supremacy of the Queen in 1858 and announced that Indians were British citizens. Means British will rule India and all Indians are British citizens, not Indian citizens. They are all British citizens. That raised Indians. Follow? Now, what happened here? Now, I'll proceed to the next point. The Indian National Congress was established in the year 1885. In the year 1885, a retired English officer A.O. Hume, Alan Octavian Hume, established the established the Indian National Congress, short form INC, to create political awareness and nationalist attitude among Indians. Though he is a European English officer, he gave idea to Indians how to protest against, how to rebel against British, how to get freedom from the British. So he gave idea to start Indian National Congress in the year 1885. The Indian National Congress struggled to kindle the patriotic feelings of Indians. Then what happened now? Through this INC, Indian National Congress, the members they developed patriotic feeling. Nationalism means feeling of oneness. Feeling of oneness means we are all Indians. Follow like that. And now next one, the British realized the growing strength of the Congress and started implementing the divide and rule policy. Gradually, the members of Congress they started spreading the nationalistic feeling among the people. Seeing this, British got afraid, and then British adopted a new weapon, that is a divide and rule policy. Now breaking the unity among the Indians, and then they'll be busy in that this you know what to say revolt. Especially I'll tell you Hindu and Muslim. Hindu they had bad opinion on Muslims. Muslims they had bad opinion on Hindus. Vice versa. So what happened? They understood a good point that in India this is one weakness among the Indians. So they started adopting one new idea that is called divide and rule policy. Divide the Indians and Ibbara Jagala Murane Laba. They tell that one. By the end of the 19th century, differences surfaced in the Indian National Congress. Now, the aim of establishing the Indian National Congress was to provide a safe outlet to express the intense anti-British, means against British feelings of the Indians. So, by the end of the 19th century, differences surfaced in the Indian National Congress. In Indian National Congress, among the members only, difference of opinion occurred. Then what happened here? Now you will see here the moderates and extremists, revolutionaries. But in Congress only you can see two groups formed. One group they were called moderates, the other group called extremists. See children here they given moderates. That is Dadabhai Naoroji, Gopalakrishna Gokhale. Moderates believed in bringing about political changes through constitutional means. They adopted mild and non-violent protests to express their feelings against the British rule. Follow? Now, the first session of the Congress was held at Bombay and presided over W.C. Banerjee. He was the first president of the Congress. Now, traditionally, the first 20 years of the beginning of Congress are called the moderate age. The moderates trusted the British administration and their impartiality. Among the moderates, M.G. Ranade, Surendranath Banerjee, Dadabhai Naoroji, we are given picture here, the Gopalakrishna Gokhale, we are given picture, were prominent. The age of moderates is also called the age of generous nationalism. Now, I'll proceed to the other group, second group. Now, here they given Aurobindo Ghosh, Bala Gangadhar Tilak, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bipin Chandra Pal. Now, here the extremists, they are all extremists. The men who were called extremists, Lala Lajpat Rai, Bala Gangadhar Tilak, and Bipin Chandra Pal and Aurobindo Ghosh were the extremist leaders. The British wanted to break the unity of the Indians. So they decided to partition Bengal in 1905. Now about we want to know extremists. Extremists criticized the moderate thinking and propagated extremist ideas. And now here in 1905, Viceroy Lord Curzon proposed a plan to divide Bengal into East and West Bengal based on Muslim and Hindu population. Again, what is going on? Divide and rule policy. Extremists opposed the partition of Bengal, highlighting it as an example of divide and rule policy. Protests started mounting throughout the country against the division of Bengal. The Swadeshi movement was very important among these protests. In 1911, the British government withdrew the declaration of partition of Bengal. Tilak declared, Swaraj is my birthright and I will get it at any cost. Thus, an independent India was the aim of the extremists. Now, one thing, now this is over. Now, I'll read. A strong anti-partition movement started in Bengal. The extremist leader launched the Swadeshi and boycott movement. I explained. The moderates opposed the methods adopted by the extremists. The extremists were thrown out of the Congress. See, this is the situation what happened in the Congress. Now, next group, the revolutionaries. The revolutionaries resorted to violent method. Violent means blood. Iron and blood means weapon, using weapons and killing the people. Bhagat Singh, Chandrasekhar Azad, Veer Savarkar were some of the prominent revolutionaries. Revolutionaries strongly believed that British could be thrown out of India only by violent means. Anushila Committee and Abhinava Bharata were important organization of this kind. They used bombs and firearms to achieve their objectives. I have mentioned already that who are the leaders of the revolutionary group. The dream of revolutionaries to bring freedom to India quickly did not materialize completely. Still, they were the fountains of spirit to the Indian freedom movement. Many of the radicals later became revolutionaries and continued their efforts. Aurobindo Ghosh was one such leader. The role of revolutionaries is important in the records of Indian history. Now, I hope that you all understood the first chapter, the freedom struggle, and how many leaders and three groups you learned: moderates, extremists, and no revolutionaries. Three groups you learnt, and then the who were moderates, who were extremists, and who were the revolutionaries. With along with the picture you understood. I hope all of you understood the freedom struggle, children. Now next class I will take the era of Gandhi. Okay. Thank you.